Like scheduling Egypt and Iran to play each other in a World Cup pride match. When it comes to providing train wreck entertainment, the left never disappoints. It's time for our favorite segment, Donkey of the Week. If you tuned in yesterday, you got to hear that then too. Up first, we've talked about her a lot this week. I'm sure she loves that. Jasmine Crockett says and does stupid stuff all the time. But her Senate-run launch video featuring President Trump calling her low IQ, this is her own video, may take the cake.
You have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man, oh, man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
That's Donald Trump, and he approves that message, I guess. Crockett's close friend and socialist darling, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, may have spent $50,000 on trips to Puerto Rico and Bad Bunny concerts, but the guy she's gunning for is Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer once again proved that Democrats care more for votes than they do about Americans.
No one likes a shutdown. It hurts people so much. And the shutdown was actually caused by Trump and the Republicans refusing to negotiate with us. But you're exactly right. People now see who's on their side.
Well, it was called the Schumer shutdown, and I think Chuck Schumer liked the shutdown and set up the shutdown and wanted to be prolonged. Now, up next, the chairman of the Scam and the Sham January 6th committee, Benny Thompson. We haven't really talked about him since then, but he tried to give Kristi Noem a tough time at a Homeland Security hearing yesterday, but in the process defended a terrorist on some level, making quite a big donkey of himself.
Reference the unfortunate accident that occurred with the National Guardsman being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
I mean...
It was a terrorist
attack. Wait. Look, I'll get it straight. Then you can
He shot our National Guardsman in the head.
And finally, California's podcaster and neuterer-in-chief, Gavin Newsom. This one needs no setup.
But it comes from my heart, not just my head. It wasn't a political evolution. It
Your
was
position being that
I don't think it's I want to see trans kids. I have a trans godson.
Now, I don't want to bias our panel here, but Nicki Minaj did send in her vote. She posted, "Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids." Ha. Not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and they think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Gav, out. Send in the next guy. I'm bored. So, squad, do you agree with Nicki, or is someone else your coveted donkey of the week? Ashley, are you team Nicki Minaj, or do you have a different donkey of the week?
I am team Nicki Minaj. She is super based instead now. This going after Gavin Newsom, she showed up to the UN to talk about the Nigerian Christians being killed. And she's even, said she's a fan of Vice President J.D. Vance. So she's been in the news a lot lately, and I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj. I will
Chris,
say.
I know you're a fan of Nicki Minaj. Do you think she is right on when it comes to Gav out being the donkey of the week?
Well, the competition is stiff. That's for sure. And the unfortunate accident from Congressman Lunatic Benny, I've got to say, it's John F. Kennedy driving through Dealey Plaza on November 22nd.
It was a traffic accident.
It was another unfortunate accident. The Democrats firing on Fort Sumter. All these unfortunate accidents. The Democrat Party. They should be canceled. Remember that whole cancel culture thing? Democrat Party, if you're a registered Democrat, you should probably be dragged in for a mental health evaluation.
Alex, team Nicki or someone else?
When we talked about this previously, the unfortunate accident, I think it was I don't know if it was you, Chris, but we brought up Ilhan Omar and her comments about 9/11.
Yeah, Chris was mentioning that.
Wasn't it like,
Some people did something.
I mean, that to me is the donkey of the week. If you call a murder, a terrorist attack, what we saw with our National Guard, an unfortunate accident, there's no coming back.
Blocks from where we sit right now. Yeah, I'm beginning to think they don't want to protect human life. I don't think they're they're the human life people. You don't want to put them in charge of the kids.
You mean they're not pro-life?
They're definitely
These
not
are
pro-life. They're not pro-kids. They're dangerous psychopaths. At least they would have been commonly viewed that way just a few election cycles ago.
These are all good answers. I'll answer for Jason first and say that Donald Trump is Jason's donkey of the week, obviously. And then I would say of these, you guys made good points, but I would say Schumer's callousness there in saying that shutdowns are bad and no one wants them. We just had a pointless 43-day government shutdown because of Chuck Schumer's political future being on the line. That's the only reason that
it's called the Schumer shutdown.
For a reason. And Republicans didn't mean that as a compliment to Chuck Schumer.
Right. And that was proved by the fact that as soon as he said it's over, it was over. I don't know what more evidence you need. There are very dishonest people in this city.
Honestly, Chris, the only way you could argue that the shutdown wasn't only about Chuck Schumer's political survival was because it was about the elections to help Democrats in Virginia and New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's it. It was either pure political power there to motivate crazy Democrats or save Chuck Schumer from AOC. That's why we had a shutdown for no reason.
And if given a chance again, he might do it.
I think it might happen in September.
They are the third world.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.